Well, guys, another Friday. Cut off. Okay, today I'm going to try the Hoyo de Monterrey. Is the tobacco that I was mentioning, the cigar. The cigar that I was mentioning, that it was falling apart when I was smoking. This is it. I'm going to give it another try. As far as the product itself, the cigar, the tobacco, it smells good. It's got good color. It's a color um, uh, that I like. It's very even, and it doesn't have, except for this one right here, you can see that vein sticking out. It's only one, and it goes about halfway down the cigar. And the reason that I like the smoke this is because this is a short cigar. I don't want to smoke an hour and a half. The other cigars, they're like double the size of this, and I don't want to have that much time smoking a cigar. It's just for a quick smoke, some words, and just relax a little bit with a drink. And I got something to show. I'm not gonna say what it is yet, but it's something that is, I wasn't expecting it. Okay, the ring just came off. The cap just came off. All right, let me just. That's what I was saying in the other video. That starts falling apart. So, so I already went to my friend's house, and I helped him with the cabinets, like I said before. And we were calling around, nobody had it. They say, oh, it was going to be delivered uh, day before yesterday. It wasn't delivered. And then they said, oh, it's going to come in at, instead of at 10, it's going to come in at 2. So we waited until 2. Around 2:30, we called again. Oh, the delivery truck didn't never come. It just didn't show up. So I said to this guy, listen, we're gonna be doing this dance for a week. Let's find another place that has this stuff. So we called the same company. I don't know if I should mention it, but it's called HD. It's a construction warehouse. Home Depot bought it, so they call it a construction warehouse HD. And called around, and we found one in another city, about 40-minute drive. So he calls me up. Hey, they say they got 5. And I said, well, let's go. So he came over here, got on the truck, and we went to pick it up. And we got caught into this traffic jam. There was 2 accidents in a row. And, oh, man, a line of trucks coming from the harbor. It was just a wall of steel, bumper to bumper. And we finally cut through that and went up and got it. And we got the panels and everything else, the white panels, so we can wrap it. Brought it back here, and I said, okay, I'm going to start loading up the truck because I need to take tools. I need to take the table saw so we can do it over there. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it here because why take the stuff over there? Let's do it here. So we start cutting the panels and wrapping it with glue. And I have my little nail gun and tuck, 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 did it real quickly. And then he said, hey, I got to go because I have an appointment and the guy's going to be there. I said, well, go ahead and take off and I'll catch up with you. So I was finishing up, and before I continue, let me show you this rum. It's called Methuselah. This rum has a reputation, 1872. It has a reputation. I remember that when I was a kid, I hear this commercial that I want to translate from Spanish. It said, Methuselah, today drunk, tomorrow you're fine. Like you don't have a hangover. So it rhymes in Spanish, not in English. But it is true. You can drink this and you will not have a hangover the way they make it. So anyways, I finished up with everything and I still took some tools just in case because we had to wrap another one that was there. And we go, I go, he already took off. And we start, putting the last one in, the tall one. And, you had to cut the back because it was a kick out and all that. Anyway, so we got it installed and we wrapped the other one. And it still took, about an hour's work to do the whole deal. So then when we were done, he says, let's go in the yard and, in the backyard and just kick back and have a drink. I said, okay. So we started talking. And we started talking about the good old days. We used to go to the river and a group of people with jet skis and boats and stuff. And then we started talking about hunting. And he says, well, I don't hunt anymore. I haven't hunted in a long time. And he said he's got a bunch of guns that he doesn't use. And also he's got four guns from his father-in-law that recently died about a year ago. And he doesn't know what to do with the guns. And I said, well, listen, I got a friend that he has a store, and you can take the guns there for he can sell them on commission, and he charges you a percentage of the sale, whatever it is. If it's some people charge 20, he would charge 10. And when he heard, because he wanted to go to the police and take all the guns, and I said, why? Oh, because I don't know what to do, and he's like, I said, no, man, how are you going to do that? You're going to give away all these guns that cost you money, and you're going to give them to the cops. What do you think they're going to do with it? I said, no, let's see if we can sell them. And then he says, so I said, what kind of guns do you have? So he said, oh, I got a 30-06, and I got a 243 and a 22-250 and a couple of shotguns and some handguns. And I said, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can take it. We can take it to my friend. And he can put them up for sale at his store. And then whoever wants to buy it, you do the paperwork, put them on their name. You don't want to just sell it to a stranger. You don't know what they're going to do with it. And then when he sells it, he'll call you or call me and say, hey, come and pick up the money, and you give the percentage he wants. So when he heard that, he got really excited. He goes, yeah, can we do that? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can. I can call the guy. And, I seen him do it. Some lady showed up with a bunch of rifles. His husband died. Her husband died. And she took everything there and he sold it for her. He said it took a while. I don't know how many there were, but the lady needed the money. And you just don't give the stuff away. Let somebody else enjoy it. So then he says, okay, next time you come, let's do an inventory. And because I started asking, what do you got? Let me see. He goes, no, no, I don't want to start taking them out. And, da da da. And he says he has them in the closet. And I said, well, let me see it. Let me see one. So he brings out this rifle. And when I look at the gun, I'm going, are you selling this one? He goes, why? And I said, man, this is a really nice gun. Don't sell it. He says, you see the deer heads on the wall in the garage? I go, well, yeah. He goes, I shot him with that. And I said, yeah, but don't sell it. He goes, you like the gun? I go, fuck yeah, man. He goes, I'm giving it to you. And I'm going, what? He says, I'll give you the gun. And I said, I thought he was pulling my leg, And I said, no, man, I can't do that. He goes, no, no, no. If you like the gun, I'll give it to you. Because I'm going to sell everything. I don't use them anymore. I'm just going to be fishing from now on. So let me show you what he gave me. It just blew my mind. I had to, when I brought it home, I put it away. And I think I've taken it out like 3 times to look at it. Because this was a dream gun of mine when I was young. But it never crossed my mind that I could acquire it because it was very expensive back then. They still are. And I used to go to the store when I was a kid and sit outside. I'll show the store. I'll clip it into the video. And I would sit outside and look at the sign with the name, and they had the rifle with the scope in neon lights, And you would walk inside and you can see all these animal heads. This was a very famous gun maker, worldwide, world renowned. His guns were par excellence. The craftsmanship, handmade guns, the quality, the materials they were using, the real good steel, the deep blue, not like the guns now. They're a little bit, well, it depends on the price. There's still some good guns now that they're still really good because what they cost. If you buy a cheap gun, it's a cheap gun. So, let me show you what he gave me. This is a 1970s, late 70s or early. I asked him, when'd you get it? He goes, in the 70s. This is a Weatherby in 30-06. Weatherby Vanguard. I haven't cleaned it or anything. It's smooth as butter. The action on this thing. The wood is to my taste, to my liking. It's beautiful wood. The It says on the side, Southgate, where I used to sit at that store and just gawk and I was in awe of those beautiful animals that they were in there from Africa. That Mr. Weatherby would go hunt and would go with people, movie stars and politicians and that kind of thing. He gave a gun to John Wayne. I saw a picture. He gave a gun to Reagan, I don't know if he gave him. Maybe he sold him to Reagan, George Bush, the rifleman from that show. The quick action, the rifleman. He got a gun for him too. All these guns were custom. I don't know in what caliber uh, he gave those guns, but this has always been a rifleman's dream. All this, the chickpeas, everything, it's in mint condition. But the grain, the only thing that I might have to replace is the box stock because it's a petrified rubber. It's been there since the 70s, and it says Weatherby on it. It is a little bit on the thin side. It's a little tough. It's not spongy, but I'm gonna try it first. If I can take the recoil with that pad, I'm gonna keep it. You know, because it says Weatherby, and just having that alone, it's you know. So, cigar went out. So this beautiful masterpiece of a gun. I haven't cleaned it. It's got smudges from the hands on the barrel. And look at the blue on this thing. It's deep, very deep blue. Beautiful wood. You can't, when he said, "I give it to you," I'm going, "Are you serious?" He says, "Yeah, this is my gun." Oh, and the trigger. Check this out. Just touch it. Just touch it. I checked it with my, I got the safety on. The trigger is 3 pounds. I just touched it right now in 3 pounds. It's got a Weatherby scope also. This was very unexpected for me doing a favor to an old friend that he would turn around and give me something like this for just hanging up some cabinets. I mean, I in return, oh man, the grip on this thing is it's beautiful. This is the best grip out of all my my three guns, my other three guns. No, I got four. Now I got five with this one. But the grip on this thing is so comfortable. So I'm gonna make a great effort to sell his guns, and he can make some money on them because you just don't give away this stuff for free like that. Look at that. I'm telling you, I still don't believe it. I mean, this is the epitome of a rifle, the pinnacle of a rifle. It's a Weatherby gun. I mean, I seen him with the diamond embedded and all kinds of things. I'm glad this one doesn't have that because if it's too fancy, I might not even take it out into the field because I don't want to scratch it. So this one has just enough. It's got the little diamond here, and that's it. I don't want a lot of doodads. It has a line here with a different wood. I'm telling you, this type of quality, it's non-existent. I mean, the guns now, and it's not heavy for what it is. I haven't weighed it, but I think it's maybe 8 pounds, 8 and a quarter. You need that kind of weight if you're shooting something like a 30-06. So I don't have any 30-06 ammo because I don't have 30-06. I do now. So I'm gonna have to buy a couple of boxes and go to the range and try this thing out because I'm telling you, this is an awesome, awesome gift, and I'm gonna be indebted to this guy for a long, long time because nobody just nobody just gives you a Weatherby just like that. Let me hang this up. For doing a favor, I mean, I didn't even fabricate the cabinets. I just hang them, and he turns around. He said he hasn't hunted since the mid '90s, and I said, well, you know, if you want to get rid of them, I'll help you get rid of them. But we're not gonna give them away. Gonna try to get you some money, because he's got a few thousands there. That gun, without the scope, back then in the '70s, that must have been because I remember there was. I went in one time to Weatherby store and they had a 300 Magnum with a scratch on the stock, and that went for $850 with a scratch. So this gun must have been, I would say, about the same, $850 to $900 back then, which to me, for me, it was a month wages. You know, they weren't paying that much back then. But the quality of the gun is incredible. I haven't checked it to see if it floats, if it's a floating barrel. I don't think so because back then there was no emphasis on that. Nobody was talking about floating barrels. But I'm gonna try it. It's got a thick barrel, not too thick, not too narrow. It's not a pencil barrel. I'm looking at it, it's right behind the camera, and the gun. I mean, I'm gonna try it. I want to try it, and then I'm gonna load for it. I'm gonna see if I can get a die and start loading for it. Cause the same bullet that I have for the 308, I can use on this gun and the primer. So all I need to do is get a couple of boxes of 30-06 and then start reloading with that. I got the powder and everything. I just need the. It goes to show that a good deed does not go unpaid. I wasn't expecting to get paid. I just told him jokingly, "Hey, I work for food because I was hungry, man." So he went and got some burgers. When we did the whole thing, not when I did the last one. It was just one and then wrapped the other ones. But I said jokingly, "We work for food," so he went and got some burgers. So now I'm kind of curious to see the 243. He said it was a Savage, and he's got a 22 to 50. I don't know what brand. Might be a Remington. I don't know. And he's got an 870 shotgun, and that's it. And then I don't know what the old man, his father-in-law died. I don't know what he had, but that guy, he owned a factory, a clothing factory, so he made money, and he was from the old guard. That guy probably has a 300 Magnum Weatherby, and this guy doesn't know it because he just got all the guns and put them away, and the daughters and mourning still, and he doesn't want to be parading this stuff in front of her. But when I go there again, possibly next week, because I still got to do something for him, but uh, he's going to show me what he's got, and I got a feeling, being that this guy is from the old guard that he was hanging around with the other guys that they were 300 Magnum uh, fanatics, man. And they had to be Weatherby. They had Weatherbys. Everybody had a Weatherby 300 Magnum. And I said, man, that's a cannon. What do you want with that? You know, I'm shooting my 308, my Pewter 308. So I got a feeling that he has a 308, a 300 Weatherby Magnum, which I'm not interested in. The 30-06 is okay. It's not really one of my chosen calibers. I don't go after it or anything. I never really got into the 30-06. But the 30-06 is a very capable round. It'll take anything in this continent. No problems. You can take even a moose with a 30-06. It's just that the ones that I've shot, they're kicking, they're loud. So this is probably going to be like that because that pad is not too spongy. I'm going to have to replace that. But, and let's see how accurate it is. But being that it's a Weatherby, it's got to be a tack driver. The Vanguard? I think they came up with the Vanguard in the 70s, and then later they came up with the Mark V. And I saw a documentary a couple of nights ago. Coincidence that I just got that yesterday. And last night, not a couple of nights, last night I turned on the TV and I went to YouTube and started looking for some things, and boom, this Weatherby documentary popped up. And I said to my wife, I said, hey, check it out. This is the gun that he gave me. This is the company. So we started watching it. And Weatherby was a forward-thinking gun maker and ammo maker. He came up with calibers that nobody else had, you know. The 257, he did his own 270 version, which is better than the regular 270. The 338, I think he made that. The 357, the 419, or something. It's Africa stuff, you know, big, heavy, you know, buffalo, knocking down bullets, you know, elephant guns and that kind of thing, big, heavy. He loved to go to Africa. Africa is loaded with every animal you can think of. You know, he would kill those big kudus and everything. So he had those mounted on his store. So me as a kid, I walk in there, which is amazing. When I saw that African elephant, Jesus Christ, what an animal! And the only thing I wasn't too crazy about the Weatherby was that the Weatherby ammo was so expensive. You know, you buy a box of 30-06. I don't know now because I don't shop for that. But let's say a few, I don't know, 5 years or 8 years ago, it could have been $20. Very common, $22. Well, 30-06. It has to be the same. I don't think it's 30-06 Weatherby, but the Weatherby ammo was always $40 more per box. So if you were buy something for 20, whatever else you're going to get, it was 60. And a lot of people don't carry Weatherby because it's so expensive. It just sits there on the shelf, and it just stays there for forever. You know, you're gonna have to ask or order it because it's not a common caliber. Whichever, if it's a 300 Weatherby Magnum, it has to be 300 Weatherby. Now, don't take my word exactly for this because being that I've never had a Weatherby gun, I'm not sure now if the Weatherby 300 could fit a regular 300 mag in the gun. You can tell me on the comment section. You can correct me, but when you hear 300 Weatherby Magnum, I'm thinking the case, especially the rim, it's got a different shape than the regular 300. So the 300 Weatherby, I'm guessing, like I said, I'm not an expert on Weatherbys. Um, Maybe it needs to the Weatherby rifle needs to have a Weatherby cartridge. I don't think you can get a Remington or a Winchester, 300 in the Weatherby gun. Maybe the cases might be a little bit different. I'm guessing. Okay? Because, like I said, I'm not an expert on the Weatherbys, but I know that he made a lot of different calibers that they only work on the Weatherby gun, unless somebody else like Remington or Winchester or anybody else came up with a gun to compete and use their own version of that bullet or that cartridge in their own guns, you know. So the 7mm Remington Magnum, okay, fits the regular, the Remington, the Winchester, the Savage, whatever. Those guns, it can work without rounds. So I'm not sure if Remington has a 7mm Magnum for Weatherby. So I'm just throwing it out there. See what happens. So the 30-06 is very common. So I know it's not a Weatherby 30-06. It's just a 30-06. But man, I'm blown away. I'm looking at this gun and I'm just blown away that this guy just handed the. He goes, "You like it? It's yours." Uh, that tells me a couple of things. One, he's really tired of. He's younger than me. He's 62. He is tired of sport. He's got hip replacement. I do too. He had an accident. He broke both hips in two places. He's a little bit overweight. And he smokes a lot, cigarettes. He doesn't hunt. And he used to go to Colorado and places like that, and they would get deer. But the people that he used to do that with just kind of faded away, gotten old or passed away. So now he's got all these guns that he doesn't know what to do with. So he got really excited when I told him that we can sell them in a legal fashion with paperwork at a store. And he said, "Really? You can do that?" I go, "Yeah." He's kind of out of touch because he's not really into it. So when I told him that, I was surprised that he was surprised because like he didn't know. So yeah, they put him on auction also. There's a place here you put him on auction, and they can sell it online from all over the country, and you can get rid of the guns like that because a lot of people pass away, and the ladies basically they're stuck with stuff and they don't know what to do with it. So that's one way of recouping your money and pass it on to your wife or your kids. When it's time for me to go, I already told her, and I said, "Listen, my nephews, they're not into hunting. My cousins, I gave my cousin a 30-06 Remington, never used it. I think he sold it. And one time, one cousin came from Texas visiting, and we were kicking back at the beach, and I said, when I die, I'm going to leave you my 308 lever, my Browning. And I said, but I started thinking that since you don't hunt, why would you want it? He goes, it's money. So right away, it told me that memento that I was going to pass on is my first rifle deer and my dearest rifle that I was going to pass on to my cousin. that I kind of raised a little bit like my son. He wasn't interested in the gift. He was interested in the money he can get for it. So if that's the case, I told her, you pack up all my stuff and you take it to my friend's store and you tell him sell it and the money is yours. That's it. Uh, some things are meant to be left in the family as a memento, but if it doesn't mean anything to the boys, it's not going to mean anything to the women. So I say, I'm not going to leave a rifle to my aunt or my cousin, my little cousin. Even though she shoots pretty good with a 357 Magnum. But I said, just sell it. And if somebody wants a handgun or whatever that I have, the point is that if they're not going to use it, they would really want the money. Is what they want. I tried to kind of, not forcibly or anything, but I tried to kind of teach them the sport. And I said, let's go on it with me. And I would take them when they were young, especially the one in Texas. And one time he had a deer pass right by him, and he didn't shoot him. And I said, well, what didn't you shoot him? He goes, nah. So I'm not going to force him. I'm not going to force anybody to kill an animal if he feels bad about it. So that means that if he's not into it, he doesn't need to have a rifle as a memento. So that's it. So I'm going to enjoy my new gun, and I'll probably do a video shooting it. I got to clean it because the look down the barrel is pretty dark in there. I want to clean it, get it in good, smooth running condition, and let's see how it goes. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one.